Today, we're going on a deep dive, a full walkthrough from how the 2023 war began through its escalation, regional politics, major turning points, the legal controversies, and finally, the ceasefire announced today, October 2025. This is a long story, but it matters. Let's begin. To truly understand the current war, we need context going far back. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has roots in the 20th century. The creation of Israel in 1948, the displacement of Palestinians, subsequent wars 1967-1973, Israeli occupation of the West Bank and Gaza, the building of settlements, and shifting peace efforts. In Gaza especially, Israel disengaged its settlers in 2005, but kept control of airspace, borders, and sea, imposing a blockade. Hamas, designated a militant group by many states, came to power in Gaza in 2007. Over the years, recurring flare-ups occurred, mediated ceasefires, and cycles of violence, but no lasting peace. So the October 2023 war did not emerge in a vacuum. It built on decades of unresolved conflict, deprivation, and failed diplomacy. On October 7, 2023, Hamas and affiliated armed groups launched a coordinated assault against Israel. Infiltrations, rocket barrages, and attacks on civilian towns. Israel's official casualty toll was approximately 1,200 dead, and over 200 hostages were taken. This attack horrified Israel and the world, and Israel responded with full force. Israel declared a state of war, mobilized reserves, launched airstrikes across Gaza, and later initiated a ground operation. The aim: degrade Hamas's military capabilities, recover hostages, and push for security. But that first step escalated the conflict into months and years of destruction. Here are major phases and turning points in the war. Late 2023 to early 2024. Intense bombardments, ground incursions, international calls for pauses. A 7-day ceasefire was negotiated late 2023, allowing limited humanitarian access and prisoner hostage exchanges. In March 2025, Israel ended a 2-month truce and resumed bombing Gaza, causing large casualties. January 2025, ceasefire and hostage deal. On January 15, 2025, Israel and Hamas agreed to a ceasefire plus prisoner hostage exchanges after negotiations mediated by Qatar and Egypt. That ceasefire lasted through March 2025, with 8 rounds of exchanges and partial pauses. But the ceasefire wasn't permanent. Fighting resumed, hostilities continued, and by 2025, the conflict often returned to all-out bombardment and ground operations. Then, in October 2025, a new ceasefire was announced, which we'll discuss in detail in the last segment. This war isn't isolated. It's tied to regional and international forces. Iran has supported Hamas and other militant groups, seeing this as part of its proxy strategy. Hezbollah in Lebanon has intermittently exchanged fire with Israel, especially after October 2023. Egypt and Qatar have played mediator roles, hosting talks in Sharm el-Sheikh and Doha. The United States has been heavily involved. Military support to Israel, diplomatic pressure, and most recently, the Trump administration acting as a broker in the 2025 ceasefire. These external dynamics influence both the stamina and constraints of each side, making diplomacy much more complex than just Israel versus Hamas. Among the top figures and political dynamics to watch, Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, has led the Israeli war effort and navigated domestic politics, often under pressure from both hardliners and moderates. Hamas leadership in Gaza oversaw the resistance operations and decision-making under heavy strain and destruction. Donald Trump, as U.S. President since 2025, became an overt mediator of the new ceasefire plan, presenting a version of what he calls a durable peace and putting pressure on Israel to accept. Mediators from Egypt, Qatar, and regional players arranged indirect talks and facilitated negotiation pathways, especially in Sharm el-Sheikh. This war has cost thousands of lives, displaced millions, and transformed the region. The ceasefire announced today offers hope, but only if implemented fully, transparently, and with justice at its core. At TruthArc, we'll keep watching, analyzing, and updating you as this story unfolds. If you want thoughtful, fact-based coverage of global events, please subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell icon. In the comments below, what do you see as the biggest obstacle to lasting peace in Gaza? I'll respond to thoughtful replies.